Hello, my name's Carole, and it seems like forever since I did a hashtag Friday sews, and it's only been a couple of weeks. I've got a lot to chat about this week, lots to catch up on. I'm going to show you a few Christmas gifts I got from my lovely husband in relation to sewing. I have done a bit of sewing. I've got a couple of items to show you, and let's just have some chat and let's have a catch up. My name is Carole. Welcome to my sewing room for hashtag Friday Sews. Now, I have been very fortunate in gaining quite a few new subscribers recently, which I'm really happy. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you subscribing and just taking time out of your day to watch me ramble on about sewing, because I love nothing better than to chat to people about sewing. So hashtag Friday Sews, if you've never come across it, I've actually just checked Jen from Today in Jen's Sewing Room channel, and she did launch it 4 years ago. Now, I've only been doing it about 2.5 years, but some people have been doing hashtag Friday Sews since the beginning. It's fantastic. We talk about what we've been sewing, a little bit of life, and if we bought anything or if anyone's gifted us anything, we'll tell you all about it. So I'm going to start with exactly that theme. Obviously, Happy New Year if you are watching this at the time it is produced. We are now in 2025. Today I am so fed up of wearing jumpers already. Every time I'm on screen with you recently, I've been wearing a jumper. So I dug out a very ancient jersey blouse. And we are going back a few years with this one. New Look 6871. I made it a long time ago, I have to say. Did the long version. So I thought I'd dig it out. It's got daisies on. It makes me think of spring. So back to gifts, and these are the things that my husband bought me for Christmas. Now, I don't want to be cynical and say I think he may have just typed into Amazon sewing gifts, but he definitely came up with some ideas that I think must have been on a search engine. Bless him, lovely, thank you so much, and I love every one of them. It's just funny how he came across them. Having said that, the very first thing was something I spotted in a recent sewing social. Somebody had this pressing mat, this wool pressing mat underneath their machine, and it dampened a lot of the sound and obviously stopped it moving, and they could slide it to and fro. So I thought that was an amazing idea. So my request was granted. The second thing he got for me was half-yard gifts. Now, I do love playing with fat quarters. Every now and again, I make a lot of clothes and things like that, but every now and again, I just want to play with fabric, and particularly cotton. Because I sew a lot of jerseys and things like that, sometimes you just want something in a sewing machine that glides through and is easy. So he's given me this half-yard gift book, and that is amazing. I'm really pleased with that. He's also given me a book about Esme Young. Now, she is one of the judges on the Great British Sewing Bee, and she's as you can see, she's quite a mature lady, but oh my goodness, has she had a past in fashion designing. She has created clothes for Kylie Minogue, for Madonna, for so many people. So I'm really interested to take this on my next holiday and have a good old read. What's it called? Behind the Seams. Very clever. And the last thing, I thought, one more thing, but it's up on the wall over there, so I'll have to put a picture in. He bought me a clock. Now, I know I've got a watch and I know I've got my phone, but sometimes if you've got both your hands full and you just want to keep an eye on the time, just flicking your head to look at the clock is so much quicker than putting it down and looking. So I did request a clock, and he's got me the most awesome sewing themed one. So looking at it now, I'm really happy because, yeah, time, I don't know what happens to time in the sewing room. It just disappears, doesn't it? So the last thing he got me, and initially I thought, how can you make a word search book out of sewing? But you can. So this would be brilliant travel for me. I'm thinking about sewing, but I'm doing a word search. But I thought, how many words could they put in a sewing a word search? But there's things like eco sewing, lingerie sewing, sewing for pets. All the it really made me think, sewing techniques. It really made me think about all the words we do actually use. There's a good one, fabric manipulation. So those are the gifts that my lovely husband Chris gave me for Christmas. Right, so we need to rewind the clock back to the last Friday sews I did before Christmas, when I held up this fabric and said I wanted to make a new Hug hoodie from Made It Patterns. Now I have made one before, and what I said was I didn't like the way the front stuck out, just kind of dropped, and there's always that gap there. You'll know what I mean if you've made it. In fact, everyone I've ever seen on Instagram or anything, or reviews, always stands out a little bit. And for me, the reason is this band here, which is amazing, is the same size as the front and the back. So there's no bringing in at all. So that's what I wanted to try, and I am so much happier with this. So this is really thick fabric actually. It's a punty, but it's got a fur backing. It's sumptuous, I think we'd say the word. It's just wonderful, and it didn't sew badly at all. Even though, I mean, that's not too chunky. I would expect that to be much chunkier. But so I shortened these bands. So you have one band that goes sort of all the way around, and then just a short band here. So I thought I'd show you. I cut it all the same, but when I pinned it on to the fronts and the backs, I gently pulled it. Didn't overstretch it, I just kind of eased it. So this is all I took off of the front, which was the short piece up here. But this is how much I reduced the back by. So that's actually, as you can see, it was quite stretchy anyway, and you only had to just bring it in a bit. And it has made it, and you will see in the photos, the video I put up, I'm much happier with it because it it's not pulling in, but it just sits better on me. So I'm really, really pleased with that. I love a raglan. I can't go wrong with a raglan. You can't see any of the details on this, the lovely neckband I've done or anything, because it's so bright, isn't it? But it'll be great for, we're shortly going away somewhere very cold for a week, so it will be perfect for that. So all in all, yeah, I think that's all the notes I put on there. Yeah, I think, as you can see, just reducing it in by these amounts, cut them the same, but play around with it if you're unhappy like I am. But really happy with this pattern. So that was the Hug Hoodie by Made It Patterns. I must just say, and a huge thank you and shout out to the lovely Izzy from Dizzy Quilts and Sews, because I cut all this pattern out. I know how to put a sweatshirt together, that's not a problem, but what I couldn't remember is the order that you kind of did this odd triangle piece. I had no instructions. I can't even find where I downloaded it and printed it. No instructions anywhere, went searching online, nothing. So I knew my lovely friend Izzy had made it. So I messaged her and I said, can you just have a look at the instructions and tell me the order that you actually put the front bits together? Bless her, she sent me the instructions. So thank you so much, Izzy. You made it so much easier, because I think it could have been all very wrong if I hadn't have had those instructions. So what have I got here? It is a story in itself, this. Again, a few weeks ago, I showed you my daughter's spirit jersey. Now, spirit jerseys, I think you can get them for lots of things, but Disney tend to produce them at vast expense in the cheapest fabric you can ever imagine. And what my daughter wanted me to do, she wanted a Cinderella one, make it pink, make it blue. Two fairies when they argue about what colour Cinderella's dress has got to be. But she needed it to match something, a bag she's got. So I traced it off. And I have to say, it's not that difficult at all. All I do is I stake it out, more or less, like Gulliver's Travels when he was staked out. That's literally all I do with pins. And these tops go for big money, because on the back they normally have Disneyland or something on the back, and then a design on the front. But let me just show you. For example, this is, well, that's half the front and half the back. I mean, that's not very shapely at all, is it? A sleeve. Again, not shapely at all. And then you've just got these two bottom bits. I mean, how tricky is that to design? For me, I was relieved because it's easy to copy. But I used, this is a tie-dye, very light French terry that I bought in America a couple of years ago. I bought it, I've made myself a Style Arc sunny top in it, which I wear all the time and I love. And when I recently went back to America, I think it was in March last year, 2024, I saw this fabric again in Joann's and I bought loads of it because it's going to wear it. It's not very expensive fabric, so it will wear it. So I had loads that I could make her this top, and it's perfect for the make it pink, make it blue. So I did exactly as the spirit jerseys are, and I cover stitched the hems here. So it worked out really well. I put some knit cuffs on there, did the knit band here, and of course, as you can see, I did the embroidery on the front. So we've got make it blue, make it pink. That's just, you can just see that. And then you've got the Cinderella dress in the middle. Now, I've talked a lot about embroidery designs where I like to get them from Art Spira, which is the brother up, because they tell you the embroidery colours you need. These, unfortunately, I had to get from Etsy. But as you can see, they came out beautifully and the colours weren't too difficult to work out because I knew what colours I wanted. So they came out. Even though with my machine it's such a small hoop, I had to do it in 3 lots, it came out really well. So I am very happy with it. The only thing I would say is this fabric is more drapey than the fabric that the Disney company use. They use a very cheap cotton jersey. So because of the weight of it, the sleeves sort of hung a bit more. So I've had to bring them in a little bit, but she's happy with it. I'm happy with it. I did keep putting it off. We almost came to blows over this because I kept diverting to do some Christmas stuff before Christmas and the easier stuff. And she said, you always like doing the easy stuff first, don't you? And I said, yeah, I think we all do, don't we? If we've got an easy job and a hard job, you know which one we'll veer to. We'll go to the easy one. So yeah, I did put this off, but she doesn't need it until February anyway. So I will try and get a photo of her in it, but if not, you'll just have to take my word for it that she looks gorgeous in it and she's very happy. I had a request from my son and daughter-in-law to make some toy bags. They got my 18-year-old granddaughter had lots of new toys for Christmas, lots of bits of Playmobil and lots of bits of like a kitchen and things like that. And obviously it's their first child and they've got all these bits for all these sets and really didn't know what to do with them and how to store them. So I said, that's fine, I will make some toy bags as I have done for the boys before. I haven't got them because they've been posted off, but I'll just put a bit of footage in here of what I made. I had a request from my daughter-in-law to make some bags for some toys. You know, those bits and bobs, so then you just want to keep everything together. So I've made some bags today. This is the first time I've ever actually labelled them. I did that on my embroidery machine, just so they know which ones. I have to show you this Winnie the Pooh fabric. The lovely Diane from Silver Threads Sewing gave me that. So that's for some of the little Winnie the Pooh characters. So we got Winnie the Pooh. We've got some kind of food, radishes, Peter Rabbit. That's going to be for the shops, bits and bobs that she's got. This one here is for puzzles. So we chose this kind of letters. That was a hard one to find, that one. Next we have for the kitchen, her kitchen bits and bobs with some little food. We got this lovely, and that's Cocoa Melon. I don't know if you've seen that, but that's lovely melons. And then a huge bag, which is for all the Playmobil bits and bobs. Hence Playmobil. And we just had Explore, because it's always outdoor things, isn't it? And it's for Playmobil Playground. So I just thought I'd show you these bags. I'm now going to get them posted off. And I hope they're happy with them. You see, an easy thing. I love making easy things. That was put to the back again while I made these easy things. because it's just such fun, isn't it? If you've got a little project like that and you choosing the fabric, and I did the labels on my embroidery machine, which I'd never done before. All I did was get some twill tape, and I used some sticky stabilizer and just stuck the twill tape on there, and then just worked out the words and went down it. I think I've got a photo of it, and it was brilliant, and I would definitely do that for labels again. I was kind of really impressed there they didn't chew it up. Earlier this week I put out a video about a Lutterloh pattern that I had done. So this is the Lutterloh pattern drawing system, if you've never come across it before. I am not recommending it, I'm not saying go out and buy it, but my mum gave it to me a couple of years ago now, and I play around with it every now and again. The idea is you need two measurements. You need your bust measurement and your hip measurement, and the whole pattern is drawn around just those two measurements. So there we go. Is it meant to be the perfect fit? It's meant to be, but there we go. I'm going to no comment on that, but it does work out pretty well for me. So this was just a beautiful rib knit jersey I got from Beyond the Pink Door. Very soft, very stretchy. It's about 150% stretch, so wow, it was stretchy. But it did make this very nice, I think we call it a roll neck top. And it was out of the 295 supplement, and it's this blue top here, which looks pretty good, more or less the same. The only thing is the neck should have come up higher, but I have no idea how they would have achieved that with the pattern piece you have. You have this pattern piece here, and yeah, you don't know with Lutterloh, you don't know how many to cut, how to do everything, they just give you the pieces. So I'm quite happy the way it worked out though, but I think it should have been a bit higher, but unless you cut out 4 pieces and had a seam along the top, I've no idea how that could have been possible. But anyway, I am really pleased with this. So if you haven't seen that video and you are interested, I will link it at the top. But yeah, that's the last thing that I've been sewing this couple of weeks. So what am I going to keep myself busy on next week? I have 2 enormous bits of sweatshirting fabric. From Minerva, a super cozy navy and this dusky pink. So what will they become? Well, I've had a request from my husband to make a new pair of Hudson pants. Now these are the true bias Hudson pants, and I made them for him, I would say about 5 years ago. Dug out the pattern. Wow, I had to search for this pattern. It's one I actually bought, I think, and from the Fold line, obviously. So he would like another pair because we had a great clear out of his wardrobe a few months ago, and he's only got 1 pair of joggers, which are the Hudson pants that I've made him before. So he is putting a request for another one. And as I was buying some sweatshirt fabric, you can't just order one bit of fabric, can you? So I ordered myself some dusky pink, and I'm going to make myself another pair of the Hudson True Bias pants. Now, I'm going to have a look in here because if I remember rightly, there is an adaptation to make it high-waisted. When I first made them, I'm talking 5 years ago, I made the lower version, and then I made a higher version, and I haven't done that, and I'm going to check this. Yes, I have. Yeah, I have. I've obviously done it, and it's still there, thank goodness. So that is the change, the hack to make it high-waisted. I think it's on their website. I can't quite remember where I got it from and anything, but I think it was. So I'm so glad those pieces are there. Oh yeah, and I've got it on the front as well here. So there we go. Instead of being quite cropped, because that doesn't work for me at all, it's all there, all ready to do high-waisted. Thank goodness. I probably should have checked that before I filmed this video, but you discovered it at the same time as me. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that's on the pattern, but I'm sure someone will tell me if it is or not. So that's what I'm going to be sewing next week. Great enormous pieces of sweatshirt. So here we are in 2025. There are a lot of makes and plans videos out there. If you're a regular to my channel, you'll know I very much make things week to week. I'll probably tell you in advance what I'm going to make, and I'll probably make it the next week. I don't do plans videos for the month or anything because I very much sew on a whim. I hope that works with you all. It does make it more fun sometimes, I know. But I've done a few plans. Now, everybody else has elaborate stuff. I'm very old school, and this is what I've planned for January, and I've already ticked off some things here, so I'm quite pleased. But these are things that I've really got to get round to. And I'm talking cushion covers. Now, something I'm quite excited about is on the list as well, my fabric wheel. Now, this is my fabric wheel of fate, and yes, it will be coming back. Hopefully I will put the video out to you next week. So this is a wheel where I choose some fabrics, they go on the wheel, and whatever the wheel lands on is the fabric I've got to sew up next. I've chosen my fabrics. They are all made out of all different things, and I have to say, they're duds. They're not great fabrics at all. But as I have learnt from this challenge, sometimes they might look awful, but made up they're so much better. I can't wait to show you the ones that I've chosen, but they really are taking up a big chunk of my fabric stash. And if I could sew all those horrid 6 pieces of fabric up and turn them into something beautiful, then I'll have so much more space for perhaps some spring fabrics when that comes round. So I do hope you enjoy that series. It's a great deal of fun. It's a great fun for me every time I spin, and I know you enjoy watching it as well. So that will come out next week. So there we go. That wraps it up for the first Hashtag Friday Sews of 2025. As I said, thank you so much to all you new subscribers. I'm so excited that you're going to be with me now as I continue my sewing journey. I'll leave you with some photos this week. Now, we had Christmas. And after Christmas, I have to say the weather in England has been awful. It drizzled, I think, for a week constantly. We had grey skies and drizzle all over Christmas. But there was one kind of brighter, drier day. So we popped down to the coast, down to Hengistbury Head in Dorset, and I took a couple of photos from there. Have to say, we drove back to home and it was drizzling again. So there we go. So those are the photos I will put with you. So can I just say Happy New Year again to everybody, and I hope you have a brilliant week ahead, and I will see you next week. Thanks for joining me, and happy sewing.